Got my man Mike Bailey.
What's up, man? It's official Mike Bailey in Salt Lake City, Utah. We got a battle tonight. Um, what's good? Take the wheel.
So, Mike, where are you born?
I'm born in Las Vegas, Nevada,
Okay.
um, but I've been in Utah for long enough to where I call it home for sure. I've been out here since I was in my late teens. All my real life has happened here.
What was your early childhood like?
Early on, it was just me and my pops. Didn't really know the rest of our family. Like I knew I had my cousins out in Indiana and my cousins in California, but it was just us. He was a single dad, worked two jobs, kind of like an alcoholic, that kind of shit. Just kind of growing up, moving around a lot, living where we could, motels, cars, apartments, whatever we could, just trying to get by. We came out to Utah when I was, I think, like 15, and I kind of ran away from home, and then I just started trying to make my own way. I started rapping, doing all the shit in the streets you're not supposed to do, just trying to live.
Right, right. So, like your earliest introduction to crime, like,
Um, I mean, I seen it with like my dad and his friends, and just like in the neighborhoods I was in a lot. But like as a kid, I tried to play basketball. I tried to stay out of trouble. Try to be like good in school. Um, I started smoking weed young, doing all that. But like I knew a bunch of drug dealers and shit. But I didn't start doing like real crime or anything, anything against the law until I was probably about 16.
hmm.
And that's when I started selling like weed and pills and shit like that.
There's a comment already. Somebody said that there ain't no white GDs. Period.
Well, that's fair. But the thing is if you actually reach in and look into literature and you look into all of that, so there's GD and there's BDK. So there's black disciples. There is no white black disciples. I'll give you that. The nation's for everybody. You got Latin folks. You got insane gangster disciples. You got whole hoods that are white disciples. Um, the nation was built for everybody. And it's not about no gangster shit. It's about growth and development. It's about being a good dad, a great dude. It's about being a whole lot of different things other than just a gangster. So, I mean, the ignorant comments like that are gonna come, but they don't know what they're talking about.
So the first thing, do you remember the first question that I had for you when I saw your chain? You
Yeah.
got the bust
Yeah.
down. You feel me? Obviously, you spent some money on it. You feel
Yeah.
me? Bust down. Star David. I said, are you Jewish or GD?
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely, definitely. I remember that. And it's the first question I get a lot. When people see tattoos or see jewelry or shirts I wear, I'm definitely a GD man.
what's the what's the street life in? So what I know of Salt Lake City, I know there's like a Tongan Crips out here
Yep,
and shit like that.
yep,
Like I'm sure there's a lot of Serranos and shit like that.
yeah.
And
So
um,
we got anything out here that you got anywhere else. I can't deny that we have maybe like a less crime rates. When you think of Utah, you think of Mormons, you think of polygamists, you think of all that. And I will give you most of Utah is like that. It's farms, it's Mormons, you got the polygamy, you got all the weirdo shit, right? It's like a red state. But then right in the middle, you got Salt Lake City, right? It's like a blue island in the Red Sea. And in here, we got everything that anywhere else has. We do have poverty, we do have rich people, we do have crimes, we do have gangs, we have all of that. The difference is we don't have territories, right? It's not like if I go on State and 33rd, oh, I'm in the Crip neighborhood, or if I go over here, there's there's certain sets like Kernstown Blood. Like obviously they were formed in Kearns, but you can meet a Kernstown Blood who's from Sugar House. Okay, so like we don't have territories like that, but there are gangs, there are all that out here. It's just kind of different. Like you could be anywhere in Salt Lake and run into somebody who could be considered a rival or could be considered a friend. It's kind of like a Wild West.
mhm. Were you so you you became a GD in prison,
Yes,
correct?
you're correct, correct. Yeah. So I have friends and family, so it was always like if I was gonna be a gang member, there was no other route for me. It was always gonna be GD. So when I went to prison, it was more of basically like I was Warden County. Like you're gonna get there and you're gonna have to run as a white boy. You're gonna have to be like an independent wood. It don't necessarily mean you're racist, but like yeah, you're gonna be with the racists. And for me, that just never made sense. It didn't work because that's not who I am. And so obviously there was folks there, and I reached out to them, and we did what we had to do, and I was blessed, and I ran as a GD my whole time in prison. I've never been anything else.
So previous to prison, how did what happened that led to you going to prison?
Okay, yeah, so that's a story in itself. So when I was like 17, had a whole group of people that I was kind of living with when we had this apartment. There was like 12 of us, and we do what we had to pay rent, do what we got, just whatever. And we were selling weed, hitting licks, doing whatever we had to do. I get pulled over and I had some weed on me the first time. Not a big deal, but I skipped court. I didn't even go. And then the next case I caught was basically somebody had owed me money. We had gotten into it. And basically the way it all went down was he set me up to go somewhere to pick up my money, is what I was believing. When I went there, shit went south, turned into a fight, guns got involved, police cornered us, and I was arrested. Dude ended up testifying on me, and so I ended up going for like robbery, possession of a firearm, possession with intent to distribute, assault, threats of violence, all of that.
And how many years did they?
Altogether, I did about 7. Altogether, just under 7.
You went in. You're still a teenager.
Yeah, I went in at 18. That's when it all started. And when I was like officially free, like I was on the streets and I could go home and sleep in my own bed, I was 26.
Wow. So.
But there was also some halfway house time in there, considering all that.
So your 21st birthday was spent with some Pruno, basically.
Yeah, it really was. Yeah. It was a good day too.
Yeah.
Some of my best memories are still there.
So you wind up getting caught up. Unfortunate situation. Pretty typical of the street life criminal shit. And you went in, and this was a state case? This wasn't a federal case, or?
No, it was. It started off as a state case, and they started charging me like separately with shit. So it was at first it was all state, and then my 2 cases got separated for some reason, and it didn't make sense to me because at this time I got LDAs, like I don't have private attorneys, so nobody's talking to me, nobody's telling me what's going on. I go into court, and they list all my most serious charges, which was like the drugs and the gun, and they were like, the state is dropping these charges against Mr. White. And yes, my last name is White, motherfuckers. They said, we're dropping these charges against Mr. White. And, there's that moment of excitement. I'm like, oh shit, I'm only gonna do months, I'm gonna get probation, I'm gonna get out. And then they go, it's now in federal jurisdiction. He's being federally indicted. And then literally 2 days later, I was in a federal courtroom here in Bailey, Michael White versus the United States of America.
Whew, okay. That's scary as fuck.
And so I did have to do 2 prison sentences. They ran them consecutive. So I had to do my state time and then go do my fed time.
Now, you're not Mormon. You didn't grow up in Utah.
No, I've never been baptized Mormon. But I know a lot of Mormons that are good people, man. I know Mormon tongue and Crips that are with the shit. I know Mormon dudes who live by the shit and they're good dudes. I've been surrounded by Mormons for a huge portion of my life.
Okay. Interesting, yeah.
Never been Mormon, though.
The chat wants to know, like, can you stack?
Can I stack?
Can you stack?
I mean, I could throw up all the
yes.
sides.
You feel me?
That shit is actually something that if we're talking about like literature, that's not something I should be doing for like the internet and shit like that. So I'm not on some ignorant, I'm a GD and I'm against anybody who's not. I'm not on that shit. I'm on some growth and development, new concept type of shit where I'm all about bettering my life, the people around me, and the community. So I'm not some gangbanger who wants to walk up and fight everybody, but like I will stand on my shit.
Okay, but can we see your tats? You got some pretty...
Yeah, I got a lot of them. I mean, the ones that people would consider controversial, I mean, I cracked all the 5s on my knuckles. Obviously, some ignorant prison shit. I got the Death Before Dishonor sword on my face. I got the BOS back here with some Stars of David all over my body. It's a bunch of little shit. That's also...
The cracking the 5s is...
Yeah, it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. And you got to realize, when I did a lot of this, I'm 18, 19, 20 years old. And all I'm thinking about is like, how do I be as street and tough as I can be? You know what I mean? That's kind of what's going through my head at that age period and when I'm not thinking things through. So, I mean, do I regret everything? No. But am I proud of everything? Not necessarily. But I am who I am. And there's going to be people in the comments and people in the world who think that I'm fake just because I go against the image of what they believe a gangster or a rapper or whatever it should be, but those same people don't really, that doesn't affect me. You know what I mean?
Right. So, okay. You're in the county and you're basically off rip. You're trying to program with the blacks, or like, what's the, like, you're...
Yeah, no, there wasn't no trying, like I was. because like the options were made clear to me. You know, it was you could either be a white boy or you could get on some hood shit. And for me, hailing Hitler and fucking being some strung out fucking white supremacist was just never an option.
Hmm.
It's not something I could do.
So did you have to do your state or Fed time first, or
State.
so you did the state time first?
Yeah.
Out here, I assume the whites probably are the majority in the prisons,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I would say they're the biggest portion, but they're also like the least organized. Like when it comes to in prison, right? So like when you talk about the prison and the state, um, if you want to talk about who runs it, it's the Crips and the Sureños.
Right.
But in Utah, we're still on some folks and lokes time, so we still lock up with each other. It just, but yeah. I would say that the whites were probably like an 80 or 70%.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Okay. And so that you're really going against the grain, even not trying to. What's their like initial thought? Like, are they trying to have you removed from yards or like
Yeah, I
shit like
mean,
that?
so until people took me serious and said, "Oh no, that's Mike. Mike is cool. Mike's with us." Until that moment, there was me having to stand on shit, fighting my own homies. There was, me getting threats and all that. Never anything crazy though. Like, I never got like, stabbed, half to death by some white boys or anything. But there was like the stares. There was the being called a race traitor, burnt wood. And just being told that like based on a sympathizer, like all these different things that they gotta say. But in my mind, it was always like I just can't live my life with a heart full of hate like that.
Right.
I just couldn't.
Right. So, what was the biggest issue you faced like in county before? Or was it just kind of
In county, being bored, bro. There ain't shit to do. There is no program. Like, you could do some push-ups, you could play some cards, but like, there's nothing going on. You can't do nothing. Especially in this county. This county is like, the Salt Lake County Jail is considered one of the like highest security jails. And normally, when you get federally indicted, you'll get moved to like a Davis County or Weber County. But if you get real unlucky, you stay in Salt Lake County and they move you to the medium section where you only get out like every other day.
right?
And all there was to do was read. And you got all the dudes who are like homeless and dope fiends. So like any section to get it cracking, make some money, fucking anything that matters to make your time go by better. None of that's really going on. Plus, I'm new to it. I'm a kid, so I'm not in the circle like that yet. So
Right.
county was nothing. Like I did literally nothing but read and play cards and gamble.
Okay. Did you have it in your head at that point already, like that you were gonna that it was GD you was gonna head towards, or were you maybe gonna be a Crip or
No,
like
it was always gonna be GD because that was just who I knew going into it before. All my friends on the streets were already that's what it was. And so if I was to ever click up, there was no other option for me in my mind. But like the big thing was going into county, people are telling me the county's not all that serious. There's maybe some scuffles or something, but again, you're surrounded by all these dope fiends and people who are withdrawn. And so it's not that serious. But people are telling me, like, where you're going, it's about to be serious and you're gonna have to pick a side. But they made it sound like there was only one side to pick.
right?
It was like either you're gonna be a white boy or you're gonna check in. And like I was like, I'm not gonna do either of those things.
And then that's when things got complicated.
Yeah, I mean it was always complicated. So here's the thing: is like I'll be on a yard, right, and I could be there for the first little bit, and it's real rough. Nobody takes it serious. The white boys hate me. The black dudes are looking at me like, who the fuck is this dude? You know what I mean? And then after I've been there for a while, it's good. But the issue with having cases in two different, federal and state, is I couldn't be like, oh, now everybody knows me, I'm good for the rest of my life. No, you know what I mean? Like I had to move a lot. So like when I went to federal custody, you had to transfer to a transport center, a bunch of county jails, catch a bunch of different flights until you get to your yard, and then you got to redo it all over again, get acclimated, get people to know who you are, try to get people to take you serious. And like it was a lot of struggling, man. There were times when I was in there where I was just like, what the fuck am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
But I just couldn't. Like I couldn't go the other way. It just never made sense to me.
Now, when you get tattoos like that, like the cracked fives on the knuckles and all that, at this point in your life, do you consider yourself BDK?
Not necessarily. I've never considered myself as a killer. I definitely do what I have to defend myself and my homies. It's different, but it's never been like that. It was more, honestly, when I was in state, that's when I got those. It was more folks and lokes, versus like the five. Like we weren't
Which is
rocking with
funny
the
because
clubs.
like in New York, it's like super funk between the
Yeah,
GDs and
and
the.
it's different everywhere you go. You know, luckily I've always been kind of on the West Coast where the politics are the same. Um, but yeah, like it was just a thing where it was like we were beefing with the five, and I thought I was tough. I've been in some fights, I've been in some shit, and I'm like, oh okay, like I am who I am. And after my first mission, the homies were like, yeah, you can get your you can get something. And so like I was being ignorant. I wanted something that I could get that was like, this is who I am, and it was just disrespectful.
Now I'm a, I'm cool with some GDs and some BDs.
Hmm.
I worked with the Chief Keef and all those guys real close for a while. Are you a fan of BD music? Do you like Dirk's music, Von's music, Keith? Like,
A lot of it sounds good, but no, I'm not a fan. I don't listen to it. I can't listen to anything that says GDK.
right.
I just
And
can't.
those guys don't necessarily like be on that type of time, right?
No, but like I've heard songs like I'm trying to think of the one I heard. It might have been Polo G, who I think's a Vice Lord, but I could be wrong about that. But I know it was him and like Fabio
Yeah, yeah,
Foreign or
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
And in there they're yelling GDK in the song, and so it's just it's just not something I'm gonna listen to. But like I mean, they're all skilled, yeah.
Uh-huh.
They're fucking hella skilled.
What so if Dirk walks in the room right now, what's like what we doing? What's the reaction? Little Dirk walks in the room.
I tell them who I am, where I'm from, and it's gonna be cool. Like it's gonna be definitely cool. It's I don't want it to go anywhere it doesn't have to go, because like at the end of the day, we're all coming from the same place. You know, maybe not the same city, maybe not the same exact situation, but like we're all just trying to make it. You know, and it's cool. It's cool. If he doesn't disrespect me, I'm not gonna disrespect him. It doesn't have to be that way.
I'm actually, what's funny is I'm actually going to be interviewing Swag De Niro, who was Lil JoJo's brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
RP.
yeah, RP JoJo for sure. And I'm definitely interested to get his take on you. I'm going to show him.
I'm excited to see it.
You know what I mean?
I'm excited to see it.
As a real GD, I'm curious to see what he got to say about that.
I'm a real GD too.
Yeah, not to say you're not a real
No.
GD. You feel me? And that means a lot to you right
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
So tell me some of your. You said that there was like some prison altercations with the BDs or some. Is there
Not
anything that you
BDs. No,
just
not BDs. Just
or lords or
we've gotten into it with white boys. We've gotten into it with Bloods. I've gotten into it with Southsiders. Um, it just depended on the yard, the situation. But like my first real altercation was with Bloods.
Mhm.
And it was just a situation where me and the homie were going somewhere, and we knew that it could possibly go the way it was going to go. And there was 7 of them, and there was 2 of us, and so we just had to stand on it and take the ass whooping that came with it. And luckily, that one ended well. It was nothing but fists. You know what I mean? It was nothing but a fight. We got lumped up, but I feel like we gave it just as good as we got it, to the best that we could. You know what I mean?
right?
But
Pause, but yeah.
yeah, fucking pause. We need to get that shit. Look, in battle rap especially, the pause shit drives me fucking crazy. That was like a New York thing.
Straight New
them have
York
that.
shit.
Let them have that. You know what I mean? We don't need all the pause and no homo. We're a grown ass man. Like
Let,
we're a grown
let
ass
them
man.
have it. Pause. No, I'm just
Grown ass man. I should be able to say what I'm gonna say, because in my mind, if you're taking it that way, then there's something wrong with you.
Now, being okay, how does it make you feel when you think about that the fact that you're obviously somebody who fucks with black people, you fuck with black culture, you know what I mean? You, regardless of what you how you might have been raised or what you might have been raised around, you have a heart that's bigger than that, you know what I mean? Like, and you always kicked it with black folks. Now, like, how does it make you feel that you're a part of an organization that there's a lot of black death associated with and black on black crime, and
It sucks.
do you feel like you're kind of glorifying that to an extent, or
Yeah, there's a struggle there. So like first off, on the first part of the question, like I'd like to like definitely like enforce the fact that like I understand I'm a guest in the culture. I would never come out here and intentionally be disrespectful. When I was in prison, it was a whole different thing. We weren't thinking about the culture on the streets. We weren't thinking about this and that and how to be politically correct. And in this world today, with the cancel culture and all this shit that's going on, you gotta be careful about what you say. But like, I know I'm a guest, but my heart has always been there. Like I've always been in those type of environments where my friends and my people around me were just a part of this culture, whether white, black, Mexican, it didn't matter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I look at myself as a guest, and as far as with like the glorifying and all the death that goes on, like I think it sucks, and that's why when I look into the literature and I look at what Larry teaches us, the new concept is what's currently in. That's what we're supposed to be following, which is growth and development, which means getting us into positions to help each other, like with good jobs, with with just like aid and assist every time that we can somebody. Um, so for me, no, like I do feel like the lifestyle glorifies, but I try to be very clear. I know that like on the titles and the comments, people are gonna have fun. They're gonna say what they're gonna say, but like I can't make my stance any more clear that I'm all about growth and development. Yes, I'm a GD. Yes, I stand with the folks, but at the same time, like I just think we all need to learn how to set the guns down and fight.
Mm.
Be men. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like we need to fight again.
Have you touched down in Chicago?
No, I would love to. I can't wait till the day that I do. I would love to, but I have not. So I've been on the West Coast basically my whole life.
I wish there was a way to document the Mike Bailey pilgrimage to Chirac.
We'll have to do it together, man.
You feel me? That because
how about this? You get me a battle out there, and we'll do a whole documentary.
So speaking of battling, were you rapping in there? Was that kind of a way for you to find common ground with other, because you are for people don't know, you are a very talented rapper.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Going into prison, I always kind of considered myself as just a fan. There was battle rap existing in Salt Lake right before I caught all my cases, and I did. I tried my hand at it. I tried out. I made it. I battled some of the guys out here that were considered really good, and then I battled Danny Myers. Was like my last battle. Got my ass whooped too, but I did it. I rapped with Danny, and I was having fun, but I wasn't really into making music yet. And I never like thought like, oh, I'm gonna be a battle rapper. That's what I'm gonna do with my time. It was more I was just a fan, man. I love the culture. I love watching battle rap. I was watching URL. I was watching Canada. I was watching all that shit early, like since CMac DVD. I've been watching. And it was always just kind of like as a fan. And then when I went into prison, music kind of became, for the first few years, that was never on my mind. Like I would listen to music, but it was never like I was gonna make music. But one day I just decided to like vent, and I wrote like a song just about like how I was feeling. I think my girl at the time had just like left me and cheated on me and shit while I was in there. And I was just trying to vent on some like emotional shit. And it worked. Like I just felt like, oh wow, I like doing this, and I showed people what I was working on in there all the time, and everybody was fucking with it. It was just something that was like an outlet. And when I got out here, battle rap wasn't in Salt Lake again yet, and I wasn't thinking about battle rap. I had made some songs and music videos. I'm official Mike Bailey on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, and I made a few songs and some videos and just doing a couple shows, just having fun. Never looked at it serious. And then when battle rap came back, I took a couple, I caught some bodies, and then like I was like, all right, fuck it, let's see what I can do with it, and I just hit the ground running.
Would you do songs with BD rappers?
As of right now, no.
Even if like Dirk wants you on a record, you're not getting on a record with Dirk.
Not right now. No disrespect, respectfully.
Even though his pops was a GD and all that.
Yeah, respectfully, no, not right now.
Okay, so you standing on business when it comes to this.
Yeah, I mean, because for me, being famous was never the goal. Getting clout was never the goal. Even this, like when you came to Salt Lake, this wasn't planned. This was spur of the moment.
Right.
I just happened to be fucking out here rapping with another battler tonight. None of this shit was for clout or attention for me. This was always just like something I enjoyed doing. I love battling. I love rapping. It is what it is, I don't need all that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. But I just don't need the clout.
So, what were your thoughts on Slim Jesus? You being a white dude that's, really in that life.
Yeah, no, so I really don't know that I know much about it other than, like I saw the first couple, like, music videos and, like, the people making fun of him, the reactions. I heard 50 Cent, like, punked him, but I never saw something like that. I heard he got, like, on the radio and got clowned and, like, I think he came clean. Did he come clean and say he's not? Like,
yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, no, I don't know much about it, but I mean, he seems like a clown.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just that simple. He seems like a clown, but like, I hope he's doing well. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want from me there.
Now, like, without being incriminating, so you're more interested in the aspects of GD that aren't pushing a a criminal element. Would you say that's accurate, or
Um,
are you banging? Are
I
you still
mean,
with the are you with the drill? Are you with the skits? If it come down to it, are you sliding?
at the end of the day, let's put it like this: I don't know every GD in the world, right? But every GD in the world is my brother. Um, the GDs that I'm around, that I know, I'm on some full aid and assist shit.
Hmm.
And as of right now, we're trying to keep everything as positive as can be. Um, I don't look at myself as a tough guy, but like I mean, if shit comes down to it, I think I pass any test.
Would you Interesting question. Would you do a song with J Main, who is BD, but he's also BDK?
Is that the guy who says whoop
Yeah,
whoop or something like that?
yeah.
But man, I'm so out of pop culture right now. Like all the guys who are popular and doing like the podcast, man, I miss so much of that. I've been working a lot.
Yeah.
Uh, fuck. I don't know. I don't know.
So you being as you said, like you with the people that you with, you know what I'm saying? Like
The
you
folks,
you
yeah.
you with the folks, and you with the specific folks that you be around. I met
Yeah.
some of your homies, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
you really like he
You'll meet some
really
more tonight.
yeah, I'll meet some more tonight.
Yep.
I actually wanted to I wanted to have them here with you. It would have been cool, but
Well,
you know, like
tonight you'll
yeah.
get us all together.
Yeah, I'll get some footage of y'all tonight. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? People can see what time it is. This ain't no motherfucking cosplay. You know what I
No.
mean? Like,
No.
with that being said, though, but you're not like awesome. I'm a slide for duck type energy.
No. No. I mean, like, I can appreciate, I can respect the way that we are and the way that they are, in the sense of our struggles right now are not the same. I wasn't in Chicago, right? So like I don't know Duck. Like I mean I know his music. Folks is fucking fire, right? But like I wasn't there for all that. I don't know what's going on. I'm not from the Mecca. Had I been there, I don't know what things would look like today. I don't know if I'd still be alive today. You know what I mean? But yeah, like no, I'm not on some like super G'd out tough energy, but like I will stand on everything.
You know what? Like a lot of people in the chat are actually, I feel like, think you're being pretty genuine and are respecting you more than I think that you might have expected.
I appreciate that.
They're
Yeah.
saying that you should do a song with King Yella.
Okay.
That would be hard.
Yeah.
Do you as far as that goes, how do you feel about the commercialization of the nation and all that, and how popular it is to now for people just to be starting up their own GD sets and things like that? And is it difficult for you for discern yourself because you're in a place like Utah where people don't even know that shit's cracking? Like,
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to say, right? So, like, I'm not in their shoes, so it's hard for me to know what's going on in their lives and whatnot. It's a tricky subject because technically, if you want to be technical, the original shit that we stood for in the original literature would tell me not to speak on it.
mm-hmm.
But the new literature, Larry has had amazing sight into everything. And all his teachings from the very beginning have been just blessings to the world. And he basically told us in the beginning that everything was to be a secret. It was just for us. Secrecy and silency, like it's number one. But as things went on, as police started using literature to indict GDs, because it's like, oh, okay, well, you guys have these secret things that you live by. So anybody who's found with this type of paraphernalia or whatever, if you will, right? This is now a way to get them tied up into a RICO because it's everything's in furtherance of, right? In furtherance of is like a big thing they like to use. Conspiracy to do this, conspiracy to do that. So when that stuff started, popping off, he had the sight to say, okay, now we flood the streets. We tell everybody our literature. We put it on flyers. We do everything we can to now make this common knowledge because now we're not the ones that are with this knowledge. The whole world's with this knowledge. You can't indict the whole world,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so if you're moving off the new concept, I say whatever they're doing to bring in money and help each other and get themselves into a better position, I have to support.
Did you wind up like getting more time when you were locked up because of shit you got into?
Yeah, well, in a sense, yes, well, yeah, no, I guess completely, yeah. We did have like a circle, so I'm convicted. Everybody was convicted on this, so I can talk about it. It's done. Time's been done. When we were in prison, we had our own little operation going through the mailroom. And when the shit fell apart, a few people had to take the rap. I was one of them. And so I did get a couple extra.
Do you think that's kind of because you're like white? It's like you're gonna be the torpedo every time, low key.
No, I do feel that there's been environments I went into where I was gonna have to prove myself and be and crash out here or there. It's happened, but no, in this scenario, I was a part of it, and I was proud to be able to stand on it and do what I was supposed to do, just be solid, right? And it wasn't a big thing. We all got like an extra year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got in a couple fights where I lost all my good time, so I had to do like 100% of my sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, no, not more time, but I did pick up the new charge and did get more time.
What is your family? Are they? I mean, obviously, like this is something that you're pretty open about. What does your family think about you being GD?
So my family, that's a funny thing to try to piece together, right? Because I don't have much of it. Fuck, I don't know. Most of them are dead, or I didn't know them, so I don't really know what they think. So when I think family, like I've got all my brothers that are my family, right? And obviously they're all in it with me. And then my other family is, my beautiful wife and kids, and they know who I am as a man.
Mm-hmm.
They know that to me, GD is not just some gang or some fad. To me, GD is a way of life. It's a way to treat people. It's a way to carry yourself. And I think that they're good with it. I think they know what I am.
Now, a lot of people are hating on Utah. I don't know if it's people that have been out here. A lot of people are saying that Utah is a safe haven for people to false claim. Do you think there's truth to that or no?
No, I mean, I think that, a matter of fact, I was just going into some statistics, right? And I was looking at places that had the highest snitch rate, for example, okay? Utah wasn't even mentioned on the list. Salt Lake wasn't even mentioned on the list. Atlanta was, LA was, New York was, right? Very high snitch rates in other places, and I don't necessarily.
Oh, we definitely got them in LA. I'll tell you that.
I'm not going to go off that and say, oh, well, because Atlanta has the #1 snitch rate in the country, everybody in Atlanta is a snitch, right? So do we have people that false claim out here? Fuck yeah. There's whole hoods out here that probably aren't sanctioned. I'll give you that.
But they'll kill you.
Huh?
They'll kill you nonetheless.
Oh yeah, they'll still shoot you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my wife is a medical examiner. Well, she's like an autopsy technician, so she's like a medical examiner's assistant. And we've been like seriously together for the last couple of years. Since I've come home from prison and shit. And I know through her job, we're getting all kinds of gun deaths and this and that. So I guess like if your guys' take is that like Utah dudes aren't tough, I don't think you gotta be tough to.
Well, fools, look, there's a lot of look. I'll tell you my experience in Utah. There's a lot. First of all, Salt Lake City is a way more diverse city than I ever thought. There's as many, if not more, black people in Salt Lake City than Portland. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? Like,
we have a huge Polynesian culture. So
there's a lot of Usos out here. Yeah.
We have a huge African culture because Mormonism, for all of its faults, right? One thing that they do is they introduce people to the church and bring people to Salt Lake. And so you got people from 30, 40 years ago that came out here from all over the world.
Right.
When Hurricane Katrina happened, we brought tons of people here as well.
Yeah.
Salt Lake has been a place where it's been like open arms, everybody's invited. And so to speak to the diversity, like it is pretty diverse. Now, there is still a shit ton of white people, yeah, I'll give you that, but bro, you can go to a kava bar and right next door have like authentic Asian food, and then like right next door to that you can go get your nails done at like an African salon.
It's a lot more diverse than people realize.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Yeah, and there is going to be like false flaggers out here, but there's false flaggers wherever they're from too. But there's also real gangsters out here. There's also dudes that are gangster in the wrong way out here. There's dudes that are, regular dudes. I mean, we're just like anywhere else.
Is there lords out here too?
Yeah, there's a couple. There's a couple that I've come across and shit in my time. I don't know that there's a whole set out here. I think there's like lords just that have moved here from other places and shit. But I have met a couple. I actually know a GD whose dad is a vice lord. So
it'd be like that. I mean, I know.
And they're from Chicago, and they moved out here, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago.
I got a homie who's he's an OG from Six Deuce East Coast Crip, and his son is a Mad Swan Blood, which is an enemy gang to them.
So
So
like GDs being out here, the way that that kind of happened. I know you didn't ask, but like for people who are like, how the fuck is there GDs in Salt
yeah,
Lake,
yeah,
right?
please break that
Yeah.
down.
So for GDs being in Salt Lake, how that happened is obviously Chicago has always been crazy, okay? And so you had people in Chicago and folks in Chicago and Bloods in Chicago and Crips in Chicago, whatever, right? And they might want to leave because they're having kids, or maybe they got a little money and they need to get away and they want to try to go somewhere to start over.
Yeah,
Something like that happens, right? They go places, okay? So some GDs came out here to Salt Lake and they were still GDs. Just because they didn't live in Chicago no more didn't mean they weren't GD, right? And so now that they're out here, all that happened is they started having, folks that they meet that they're like, okay, like, you're solid, you're solid, you're solid. And it grew. It grew into a family. And yeah, we do have more than you think. There's at least 50 of us.
so it's funny. People now, a lot of people seem to feel like you're being genuine. There are people that are saying you're lying. Like those tattoos ain't a motherfucking lie. You feel me? Like you don't unless you're out here on some straight fucking like a death wish. You feel me? Like
Yeah.
you ain't
Yeah.
getting that shit. You ain't. You know. You
It's
really.
hard to explain. Like it is hard to explain. Like if I'm running across the blood or anybody who's rocking the 5, it's not an easy thing to explain now, is it? So I guess like yeah, if you think I'm lying, then I don't know. It seems like a risky lie to tell. I don't know why I come and hop on Lush's stream and sit here and make a fool of myself.
No, no, I feel like you're keeping it a stack, really.
Yeah.
Is it? And so, like the reason, so people are asking, shouts to NF for the $5 dono. Please like, share, subscribe, run it up. You feel me? I think a lot of people are curious. They're asking, where did you find this guy? Well, I did find him in the battle rap scene, but I do travel all over the place, and I meet a lot of interesting characters, and I want to showcase them, even if it's not about you're famous or not. Although you are an artist and you're talented, you very well might pop off, but you have a story that I feel like needs to be heard. I feel like this would be a fascinating movie, and it's interesting dialogue and discourse, and brings up a lot of discussions. You know what I mean? And so, what would you say was your biggest challenge you face as a GD
Uh,
in prison and in the streets?
okay,
Two
so
questions.
in prison, it's pretty easy. Um, Showing that I belong. Being the guy who didn't belong anywhere. Okay, so like if we're just being honest, I was always too much of a race traitor and too black to hang out with the white boys, right? But then when it came to my own folks, I was always white. You see what I'm saying? And so it was always everywhere I went. A lot of people when they touch down, they say, "Here I am. Oh, okay, this is where I belong. I'm good, right?" Me, I had to prove it every step of the way. Every step of the way, I had to fight for my spot. I had to show that I was solid. I always had to do more just to fit in, and that sucked, right? And then outside of prison, I would say the hardest is probably just now that I'm getting back involved in battle rap and music. It's stuff like this where I know that there's a lot of people on the internet who are going to take shots at me because a lot of fucking idiots like Slim Jesus exist. And I got to fight against that now. But I've learned how to cope with that. It's as simple as like my folks know who I am. They come with me to every battle. They come with me when I leave state. We're always together. They know who I am. I know who they are. We're good. We're solid. I just don't read the comments.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
Yeah.
There's a rapper named GMEBE, and then he changed his name to EBE Bands. He was a Titanic Stone white boy from Chicago. He wound up actually getting murdered. I don't know. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah, didn't he do a lot of music with AWACS?
He did. Yeah.
Okay, I remember him as like GME Bands.
Yeah.
And I remember some songs together with AWACS. He got what was it with the baseball bat?
He was hard, bro. He was a dope rapper.
Yeah, he was. He was good.
He was a dope rapper.
There's a lot of really good rappers that I'm into right now. Like Sueno. You heard of Sueno?
Sueno hard. Yeah.
Sueno is like my favorite artist right now. Yeah, no, I mean, there's dudes for every one of us that is fake and makes it hard for everybody else. There's another 2 or 3 of us that are real.
So what's your thoughts on the difference between Midwest gang banging and LA gangs? Like, because there's no Bloods and Crips in Chicago, and we don't got. I don't know if you're aware of this, but we don't have Vice Lords, BDs, or
Yeah,
GDs in
yeah,
LA.
yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, they come out for the music industry and shit.
Right,
They
right.
might live out there, but there's no GD sets in
More like
LA. Yeah, yeah,
transplants. Yeah,
transplants, and when they're out there, they're not on some like activated turned up shit. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like even
Well, I
like
know Chicago's a little more diverse. I know they have Crip and Blood Hoods.
is there
Yeah,
like there's actual Crip and as far as my understanding, and I could be
yeah.
wrong. You know what I
No,
mean?
I mean as far as what
I
I've
know
been
there's
told.
peace,
Okay.
like, because there's Peace
Yeah,
Stones,
there's
the
Keystones,
Peace Stones,
Raiders,
but
Cobras.
the Peace Stones have no, even they're called Black Peace Stones. The Black Peace Stone Bloods in LA have no affiliation
Okay.
to
See,
Peace
so
Stones in Chicago.
and that's the thing. So by no means do I think I'm like a fucking like gang anthropology expert, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I do know that West Coast and Midwest politics are crazy. I'd say I'd have to experience them to really have a valid opinion on it. But like my opinion from the outside looking in is that it's just got to be hard. It's got to be rough. Like being in like somewhere like Chicago or LA, I imagine it's a lot harder than what I go to. Um, and yeah, I just hope that everybody who is in the struggle finds a way out.
It's funny. Someone said this dude the police. I definitely don't think
Sure.
there's no way that if I was the police, right, and I was gonna infiltrate a GD set, it wouldn't be with this guy.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the top target.
I don't think this guy blends in enough. You know what I
No.
mean?
No. Yeah, no, I'm the fucking police, bro. My federal number is 251-803-081. My name is Bailey Michael White. You can look it up. It's all public information.
Is there any okay, yeah, that's some people will for sure.
Yeah.
Is there any GDs that don't accept you no matter what? Just
I mean, I guess I'd have to know like every GD to know if
that
that's the
you've
case. But that I've met, no. I've had ones that were resistant at first, you know. But honestly, that's what I love about GDs, man, is that we do have kind of an open arms policy. So I haven't experienced it, so.
so if I got locked up and I wanted to run GD, could I, or is it like, or am I too old and I've already
That's the thing. That's the thing. Is that at this point, with who you are already, like there would be no reason for you to. With GDs though, there's like a whole thing where you don't have to be a GD to ride in the GD car. Even like we got 606 and all that. So, you know, you can just be affiliated and still kind of be folks. Like you could touch down and people know who you are enough to where you could probably do whatever the fuck you wanted to do, Lush. But I mean, like, say you were my age when I went to prison. Like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely ways where you could end up being a GD.
What's like the most disturbing thing that you experienced in prison that you can speak on?
Hmm. That's a good one.
Yeah, the chat
For
knows
me,
how I run.
for me, yeah, right. All the stuff that you see in movies is true and false to a certain extent, right? So like a lot of it's played out and stupid. So like people weren't getting raped every day and shit like that. So no. But the most disturbing thing that I had seen that I'm comfortable talking about because it fucked with me psychologically was I'd watch somebody he was getting kind of like dogged, like he just wasn't being treated with respect because, truth be told, I guess he didn't really demand or deserve the respect to that extent. But I seen him kill himself, and so that fucked with me psychologically.
Unalive himself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we gotta say unalive.
Yeah.
That's the way the world is
Yeah.
now. I forget about that. But yeah, it fucked with me psychologically because I heard it and I saw it, and yeah, that fucked with me.
If anybody's having, I encourage anybody that's having
Yeah,
those thoughts, call the hotline. You feel me? Your life is worth it.
On
You
a
know,
side
like,
note too, so while I am all these things we're talking about, I am a battle rapper, I am a GD, I have been to prison, I'm also a father, I'm a recovery support specialist and work at a rehab. So I really take growth and development serious and to heart. I'm not out here in the streets riding around with a 40 looking for my ops spinning on them. It's not what I do, but I have been in my life, I've been in a lot of ignorant places, and now I'm in a place that I think is better for me, all of my folks, all of my family. So I'm not on this live or on any battle or music video trying to lie to people and make you think that I'll shoot you in the face if you disrespect me. Now we will fight. Disrespect me to my face, I'm gonna punch you in your shit. But I'm not that guy. I'm all about growth and development, and so all the hateful comments is cool. Go look in the mirror, figure out why you're so angry. But yeah, I'm just a regular guy. You know, that's it.
Anything that you want the people to know about GDs, any misconceptions that you could share with people that might be interesting?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the biggest misconception is that we're not all really supposed to be on this gangster time. And then again, that also depends on where you're at, who you're listening to, what branch you're in, because we got a such thing as renegades, right? And so renegades are fuck everything. We're on our own time. We do what we want. We beef with everybody. Cool. You know, that's.
Well, there's a lot of hybrid gangs and
Yeah,
shit. There's,
but,
you know.
But like if you're just talking about GD, the way that Larry leads, okay? Like if you're walking with Larry, that means you're on growth and development time, which means that technically, if you're out here and you're just trying to tear down the community, you're doing the wrong things.
We can't get a stack one time for the culture.
I'm not gonna do it. No, I did a little half-hearted one for you. All I'm gonna do is that. That's it. Like I mean, I'm not really with all the extra shit, man.
Okay. With that being said, Mike Bailey, this is dope. The people were interested. I think this is going to be dope. We're going to clip this up and see what it do. I think that you got an interesting story, and if the people are fucking with it, we'll definitely bring you back. And I want to encourage everybody to tune in to Mike Masters. What's the website? UtahRap.com?
Yes, we got UtahRapper.com. I know that this one in particular is on. They just said it last night. What the fuck was it? The live stream is. Just go to UtahRapper.com. It'll be there as well.
I'm hosting the stream with my boy Cali Smooth.
There you go. So you should know the link to the link them later.
Like yeah. I was the Utah Rapper.
We got versus Eli H. We got me versus Nick Jones. It's a cool event. This one is to display a lot of local battles. We have some tryout battles, but there are 3 or 4 battles on there that are just for the culture that are well established. But yeah, tune in. Mike Masters is a problem. We've been back at it for 1 year, and we've already had Mark One, Disaster, Thesaurus, Cali Smooth, Lotta Zay, fucking Dre Vicious. Like we've been cooking.
B Magic is there,
B Magic, yeah.
Yep, 1,000%. Now, you were a little bit nervous to do this interview just because you've never done anything like that. People are saying that you look scary, but I think that's what they're seeing is more you being nervous to do the interview, right? It's not.
Well, I guess so. I mean. I don't know how they perceive it. I'm sitting on the couch with a guy that I know pretty well.
Yeah. My boys.
You know, I don't know. It is what it
is. Is it LDSK?
LDSK.
Yeah.
No. It is not LDSK. I'm Joseph Smith.
Okay.
Joseph Smith is big Mormon gang.
That's right. Yeah. Mormon GD, Utah rapper.
What was it crazy ass?
It was something like that. You said BDK.
Yeah, I said.
Do you want to spit some bars for the people?
Fuck, I guess, yeah. I'm trying to think.
Could be from a song. No, just
song shit.
Yeah, just like anything. I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot with that, but.
I'll just go. I'm gonna give me mine and I'm gonna do it by myself. Look, I got the reason they should pay me on my bill. When I was gone, they ain't wanna hear me out. Bad bitches didn't know my name. Now I hit the spot and bring them out. Hey. Like an overdose, they can't bring me down. Like McDonald's, I was flipping quarter pounds. I don't know these boys, I don't like them, they don't like me. I don't text them back cause they ain't right me. Used to ride around on E with the 40. I was hypey, hard as cold, wrist is colder. Bitch, I'm icy, not a people person. I don't want you around me. I've been in the feds, state and county. I'm a lion, if they lying, keep them.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
Come on.
Let's go.
All right, you feel me? You already know on Larry. You feel me? Go crazy with it. Mike Bailey, much love.
Yep.
All right, then let me know what y'all think. Like, share, subscribe. Lush World, baby.